The 2024 season is in full swing, and we're back with another episode of Behind the Scenes, presented by Bummz Beach Cafe and RipTydz, Oceanfront Grill, and Rooftop Bar. All right, we are chilling at the beach. It is a beautiful afternoon. There's wind. It's about 75 degrees, a beautiful day. And more, it's a new location. We're at Bummz Beach Cafe, which is a great spot.
This is one of my old stomping grounds. Before RipTydz was ever built, Bummz was pretty much the only spot outside of like going to hotels where you could come, eat, and drink, and be right on the ocean front, in a bar setting, that is.
Well, we're excited to be here for our first episode at Bummz Beach Cafe of Behind the Scenes. But since our last one, the 2024 season has started. Things are underway. We had a big opening night. There's already been a 3-game series, a 6-game series, and more. Kind of what have been your first impressions of the 2024 season so far?
The fans are locked in. We had our first premium giveaway of the year, second total giveaway. These Hawaiian shirts were hot. If you were wearing one, people might just rip it off your back.
Did you see the line?
The line was the second longest I've ever seen it at our ballpark, but it wrapped almost all the way to the end of the pond lake in the middle of the parking lot.
Fans are wearing these like crazy. Fits well. I mean, it's a great looking jersey. It's the throwback 1999 logo in honor of our 25th season. But yeah, fans loved these. We had Dino Night, which I'm sure, I know that your kids are a big fan of.
My kids are definitely huge fans of that. I don't think they're alone. Based on the amount of kids and families walking around the ballpark, you can ride on dinosaurs. You can have some fossil hunting. You can take pictures. There's animatronics. I think it's the 6th time running, we actually were fortunate enough to have a baby dinosaur being born,
which is so
field.
Crazy.
The coincidence of that, the odds are wild.
Yeah.
Opening day, that's always a gem. We had a ton of local folks, a lot of people visiting from up and down the East Coast. I think there was one South American country too. So we're seeing people from all over come out and have a great time at the park.
Well, it just shows you how many people come around to Myrtle Beach and go and stop by a Myrtle Beach Pelicans game. We got a fresh slate of questions for this week, so let's get into it. We got some specific questions for both of us. We'll start off. There's one for me, and it says, what are your early impressions of the 2024 team? I think it's going to be a learning year for the team based on the age of the players that we have, the experience of the players that we have. But I think that there could be a lot of development that you see it throughout the season, which, it'll make it really fun because, players start off slow and then they get better and you can see them make adjustments. And, so we're hoping for that.
I think the best thing about the minor league setup is we, in essence, have 2 seasons.
Yeah.
So we get the development done this first part of the season, and the slate is washed clean in the middle of June, and we hunt for a second half championship.
Last year was a slow start in the first half of the season. Then they figured things out in May and went on an incredible run and ended up winning the first half. So you really never know what's going to happen. And you talk about the effort. I want to go back to one of our recent games, the suspended game against Kannapolis that we had to stop in the 12th inning on Saturday. Impromptu, but we had to pick it up on Sunday. And played about 10 minutes of baseball because we got through the top half of the 12, came back in the bottom half, and Drew Bowser hit a walk-off sacrifice fly. And you know what? The guys were still out there celebrating. I know that was the only action we had all day, but they still were out, had a nice celebration for Drew, and got to come away with a victory. So our next question is for you, Mr. Moore.
Yes.
Explain the opening night is our Super Bowl metaphor, but then how you regroup to finish running the rest of the season-long marathon.
Yeah, I've used that. It's our Super Bowl because it's opening night is typically, if not your best night, one of your biggest, most attended nights of the season. So that's the reference. You have the opening night being a giant night, a ton of people's first night working, and it's a great way to kind of cut your teeth, see what the ballpark is like when the fans bring that life and energy into it. We had great crowds this past homestand. We've got a back-to-back homestand coming up in May. We're having our first weekday day game in I can't even remember how long.
I wanted to touch on that day game real fast.
Yeah.
It's Wednesday against Fredericksburg in that first week of the 2-week homestand. I mean, I've been here for 4 years, and I haven't seen a day game. So what was the decision-making there?
Just listening to people say, hey, I remember back in the day you guys would do day games. And we don't have a ton of opportunities with some of the other program that we have going on around games. So we wanted to find a time that was more suited for locals, wouldn't impact tourists that may be on the beach, and give our community a new way to experience baseball.
That day game against Fredericksburg is Wednesday, May 15th at 12:05. Super excited. Like, I haven't seen a day game at Pelicans ballpark, so it'll be a different experience. All right, the final question. This is for both of us, and I like this one. What is in your 2-week homestand survival pack?
You have to hydrate, and you have to eat. All of a sudden it's 4:00. You may have only had a half a bottle of water. You haven't eaten yet, and that spirals to where the next day you're gonna feel more tired. You haven't eaten. You're not hydrated. So it's important to come into the homestand with a good meal the night before, and then it's also communicating with the teams. Making sure that their needs are being fulfilled while they're at home.
You always want to reset on those Mondays. Those Mondays are important. General off day across minor league baseball. So those are always big to kind of get caught up. For me, I'm going to say two things. And one is going to be my green tea, because I cannot broadcast a game without that. So that is a must-have. Green tea, always 2 hours before game time. And two would be sunscreen, because like you mentioned, the weather, and I get burned really easily.
You've made that mistake before.
Yeah, too many times. So when I go down for batting practice, I always make sure I got my sunscreen on. And now with the new haircut, I got to get it all across so the head doesn't get.
Is it applied right now?
No, it's not. It should have been.
We should probably make this a quick episode.
I might. Next time you see me on camera, I might be red as a tomato. But yeah, green tea, sunscreen. I'll throw water in there. I like to be hydrated. So get some water in there. Make sure you're feeling good and ready to conquer 12 straight games at home.
Yeah, coming up in this 2-week homestand, in addition to what I had mentioned earlier, we are going to have the human cannonball at the ballpark. I think that's a first.
Yeah.
I've been here a while. People have been here longer than me, and no one can recall ever having a human cannonball out at the ballpark. So we're having that Friday, May 10th. That will lead into our fireworks show. So there'll be one bang followed by multiple bangs.
There we go.
The next night is one of our annual staples. It's our military appreciation night on Saturday. A great night. Our internal crew does a great job with working with the military associations along Myrtle Beach. It's a nice night for them to be recognized. It's a nice night for their families to watch them be recognized. The next week, we come back with another Family Friday with Bluey. Kids love Bluey. Kids can get their pictures taken. I'm not sure if we got autographs, but all that information on what that night entails will be on our website. And then the following night, the Saturday, the 18th, we have our mental health awareness night. It's always a nice night to destigmatize mental health. Our players have mental strength coaches.
Yeah.
So we want to shine a light on that and not have it be something that people are afraid to talk about. But that rounds up our 2-week homestand. We do have a game on Sunday at 4:00. That's an earlier start than normal on the 19th. And then we got Coco Melon on the next homestand. So human cannonball, Bluey, Coco Melon, 3 straight Fridays.
Yeah.
Ton of opportunities to come out to the ballpark, see baseball, have some fun with your kids' favorite characters, watch a guy be shot out of a cannonball, a human being shot out of a cannonball. It's going to be a fun time.
It is impossible to not be entertained at a Pelicans game with baseball going on and then the fun festivities afterwards. It's a full-on experience.
Absolutely.
All right, well, we're going to head back to the ballpark because we got some really exciting things coming up in the next few weeks. Really cool to be out here right by the beach, and that was another episode of Behind the Seams presented by Bummz Beach Cafe and RipTydz, Oceanfront Grill and Rooftop Bar.